The wind arrived softly that evening, not cold, not strong, just gentle enough to move the leaves along the quiet street and carry the scent of autumn through the city. Emma walked slowly beneath the glowing streetlights, her coat wrapped closely around her shoulders. The night felt calm, peaceful, the kind of evening that makes old memories feel closer somehow. Above her, clouds drifted quietly across the dark blue sky. Somewhere nearby, music played softly from a distant cafe, and the wind continued moving gently through the empty streets as if searching for something. Emma breathed slowly, letting the cool air settle around her. It had been a long week, too many responsibilities, too many thoughts, and not enough silence. Sometimes life becomes so loud that we forget how to hear ourselves think. That was why she walked at night, because nighttime felt different, slower, softer, more honest. She turned onto a narrow street lined with old trees glowing gold beneath the lamps. Leaves moved softly across the pavement. The wind carried them quietly around her feet. And then she heard it, a melody, soft, distant, almost hidden beneath the sound of the wind. Emma stopped walking immediately. Her heart moved strangely inside her chest. Because somehow she knew that melody, not just the music, the feeling, the memory attached to it. For a moment, the entire street disappeared around her. And suddenly, she was somewhere else. A lakeside evening, years ago. Warm lights reflecting on dark water, soft laughter, a piano playing quietly nearby, and someone standing beside her. Daniel. Emma opened her eyes slowly again. The wind continued moving around her. The music still drifted softly through the night air, and somehow the past no longer felt far away. Without fully understanding why, she followed the sound, step by step, slowly, quietly. The melody led her toward a small open square hidden between old buildings. String lights glowed warmly overhead. Leaves danced softly across the ground. And near the center of the square, a man sat alone beside an old piano. His fingers moved gently across the keys, calm, familiar. Emma stopped walking. Her breath caught softly, because even before he looked up, she already knew. Daniel. Time seemed to slow down around her. The wind softened. The city became quiet. Only the piano remained, and the feeling of a memory returning all at once. Daniel finally looked up slowly. His hands paused above the piano keys. And for a moment, neither of them spoke. Emma could see the surprise in his eyes, but also something softer, something warmer. As if somewhere deep inside, he had hoped this moment might happen one day. "You still follow the music," he said quietly. Emma laughed softly in disbelief. "And you still play the same song?" The wind moved gently through the square again, lifting a few golden leaves into the air. The lights above them shimmered softly, and suddenly the years between them felt smaller somehow. "I didn't know you were back in the city," Emma said quietly. Daniel smiled faintly. "I arrived a few weeks ago." Emma looked at the piano. "You still play?" Daniel glanced at the keys softly. "Only when I miss something." The sentence lingered quietly between them, simple, honest, dangerously familiar. Emma looked away for a second, watching the wind move through the empty square. Because some memories do not disappear with time, they simply wait quietly for something to bring them back. And tonight, the wind had returned one. The wind continued moving softly through the square. Golden leaves drifted slowly across the ground, circling quietly around the piano before disappearing into the night. Above them, the string lights glowed warmly, casting soft reflections against the wet pavement. And somewhere far away, the city continued breathing quietly in the darkness. Emma stood still for a moment longer, trying to understand how one familiar melody could bring back so much at once. Daniel looked at her gently. "You still disappear into your thoughts," he said softly. Emma smiled faintly. "And you still notice." For a moment, they simply looked at each other. Not awkwardly, not uncertainly, just quietly. As if both of them understood that this night had arrived unexpectedly, but somehow, exactly at the right time. Daniel closed the piano slowly. The final notes of the melody faded into the wind. Then he stood up. "You want to walk?" he asked softly. Emma looked toward the quiet streets around them. The city seemed softer tonight, more peaceful than usual, and somewhere deep inside she realized she didn't want this moment to end yet. "Yes," she answered quietly. "I'd like that." Together they left the small square and began walking through the autumn streets. Leaves moved softly beneath their steps. The wind carried the scent of rain, old trees, and distant coffee shops glowing warmly through fogged windows. For a while neither of them spoke much, and somehow the silence felt comfortable. The kind of silence that only exists between people who once knew each other deeply. "It's strange seeing you again," Emma admitted quietly. Daniel nodded slowly. "I know." He looked up toward the dark sky briefly. "There were times I thought about calling you." Emma glanced toward him softly. "Why didn't you?" Daniel smiled faintly. "Because I wasn't sure if the past still wanted me there." The wind moved gently around them again. Emma watched a few leaves drift across the streetlights, and for a moment she understood exactly what he meant. Because some memories feel beautiful, but also dangerous. "I used to hear this song everywhere," Emma whispered. "The one you played tonight." Daniel looked surprised. "Really?" Emma nodded softly. "In cafes, on quiet nights, even in dreams sometimes." Daniel smiled quietly. "I think some songs remember people." Emma laughed softly. "That sounds impossible." "And yet," Daniel said gently, "here we are." The street ahead became quieter now. Fewer lights, fewer cars, only the soft sound of wind moving through the trees. Eventually they reached the lakeside path near the old park. The water reflected the city lights like scattered gold floating across the surface. Emma stopped walking for a moment. The memory returned instantly. The same place, the same lake, the same quiet autumn night from years ago. Daniel stood beside her silently. "You remember," he said softly. Emma nodded. "How could I forget?" For a moment neither of them spoke again. The wind moved gently across the dark water. The city lights shimmered softly beneath the surface, and somewhere nearby, the faint sound of distant music drifted quietly through the night. "I was angry for a long time after you left," Emma admitted quietly. Daniel lowered his eyes slightly. "I know." Emma wrapped her coat a little tighter around herself. "But eventually, I realized I wasn't angry anymore." Daniel looked at her carefully. "What were you then?" Emma smiled softly. "Just missing someone." The honesty in her voice settled quietly between them. Warm, real, gentle. Daniel stepped slightly closer beside her. Not enough to break the quiet, just enough to feel less distant. "I missed you too," he said softly. The wind carried the words gently into the night, and somehow they felt lighter after being spoken aloud. They remained beside the lake for a long while, watching the water move quietly beneath the autumn lights. No rushing, no pressure, only the peaceful feeling of finding something familiar again. Eventually, Daniel looked toward her with a soft smile. "You know," he said quietly, "I almost didn't play tonight." Emma looked surprised. "What changed your mind?" Daniel glanced toward the wind moving through the trees, then back at her. "Something told me the right person might hear it." Emma laughed softly, shaking her head slightly. "You always say things like that." Daniel smiled, "And somehow you still listen." The wind moved gently around them once more, cool, soft, peaceful, and standing there together beneath the autumn night, Emma realized something important. Some memories are not meant to trap us in the past. Some memories return to remind us that certain feelings never truly disappear. Sometimes they simply wait quietly, like music carried gently through the wind until the right moment brings them back home again.